Hello, everybody, and welcome to another awesome episode of CyberMasters. Some slight changes today. We have a slight change of guest. We have a very excellent repeat guest, Patrick Deegan. How are you today?
Good.
We plan to have a really interesting show about the big hacks that are going on. Everybody may have heard of white hat hackers, black hat, but there's a group out there called Black Cat Group. So in our region, they've caused a little havoc. We're going to digest it and see what that's all about. How could such a huge government get cracked up? Thanks for joining CyberMasters, trying to make the show better every week. Patrick, how the hell are you?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm
What
good.
do you have to say these days?
Nothing. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
Been watching this. We've been talking about this for years.
Yeah.
It took place, right? And then we even fought about it today.
Yes.
Because the information, I remember I was told a couple of weeks ago when this happened that we weren't going to find out what had happened, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, we said that a couple weeks ago.
One of the most guarded secrets of all times. And then slowly but surely we hear it trickle out that the entire police department is now being, like, not crippled by this, but their entire emergency response system is relying on help from NYPD, where they're actually gone to paper. Where
The
they're
entire emergency
runner,
response
and
system.
somebody is coming with, like, he'll answer 911, and if it requires some kind of action beyond that, he's going to write it down, stay at his post, and hold it up like it's Wall Street.
In the police station that's happening right now.
Yeah, like it's a brokerage firm, like you got a sale, you know what I mean? And you're going to stay on the phone the whole time.
So if somebody calls in...
whatever their command center is, I'm not sure what Suffolk is using. Like, I have no idea where they have it.
Yeah.
But regardless of where they have the location, the technology and the systems that they're using is all interconnected apparently somehow through the servers, and that's what was breached, if I'm not mistaken. But I fully don't know what had taken place. Like, I'm hearing rumor that it was ransomware or that it has earmarks of ransomware. It's like,
yeah.
Well, then where's the ransom request?
Well, they're saying they found some stuff on the dark web about some of the data that was taken, and now being asked if you want this further released, will want money, but I don't have those details.
Right. It
hasn't been worked out.
That's what I'm saying. We're hearing, but like, how much is it?
So
like, was that what happened, or is that just like all we know so far is, and like I know this from calling around certain departments. Okay, so right now.
So hold on, let's be clear. This is the Suffolk County in New York cyber attack that's becoming internationally known, and they've been down for approximately a week and a half. And they've had to revert to paper to continue operations, correct?
Well, in some departments, yes. Some departments are completely stopped right now. Because you have to understand something now. If you're trying to request information, we have such a heavy reliance on computers and the data that we receive from them or put into them. Mm-hmm. So it's not just a matter of like what we can't access. We can't upload anything. So in terms of applications, I heard this is affecting DMV because people can't pay tickets.
Wow.
The whole entire, if you follow me, this is that theoretical zero day.
I don't know if I want to pay my ticket anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Right, but in terms of what they've accessed now, and that's where the ransomware or what appeared on the dark web is, that's not ransom. I mean, unless there's a note attached, I actually...
well, we're going to be...
Each news agency seems to be reporting something different. We've both spoke to some people inside, and like everybody is like... I found out today how they're operating certain departments. Mm-hmm. All right, and that's what has me
reverted to
scared.
Paper, basically.
Okay, Suffolk County Department of Social Services. Anybody within the past, I don't know how many weeks now?
Yes.
So that's affecting that. Plus, there is access of data within that.
Okay.
So there's confidential information there. So people, it could be jail, it could be parolees, okay? Imagine everything potentially being breached.
Wow.
DMV, it has to do with, like, parking tickets. And also realize we don't own the video for the red light cameras, but we have access to that. So that's going to be anything that's uploaded into the court system. It's everything.
May I pull that mic down just a little bit so we can see your face a little bit better? That's all. Your camera is being there. Interesting. Yeah, no, that's pretty scary if you think about it. I mean, what's next? 2 weeks? How much further? I mean, what are you talking about? 2 weeks?
Well,
maybe a month down? I mean,
they've
how
created,
long
they're
is it
using
gonna
a secondary website apparently.
go? So, but in some sense, the fact that their backup procedure and their paper process worked, isn't that incredible? They were able to go back to that?
Well, only in some departments. I mean, other ones I don't know. I didn't know how severe it was because they were seriously downplaying it for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, until we heard what happened with them having to rely on NYPD for certain emergency services.
Right, right.
So this does affect, you have to understand this. They got into the county server, apparently. So think of every county department. I can't even mention them all. I don't even know how many there are. You would probably know better than I would.
Yeah, 40, 50 departments.
Now, the reason I did this show was because I wanted to kind of turn the table tonight. You have more knowledge and data. So what, in terms of like, what could have been accessed? What are we looking at here?
Well,
now,
you're looking at public safety data, potentially criminal or data that's being used for criminal activity, and DSS data. Think about all the social security numbers for all the customers they serve.
Well, it goes further because planning. They can't get maps, can't get files, can't submit applications, from what I'm understanding.
So all the projects are slowing down.
I've only checked so much within it, but I checked each one like systematically, where I started at even like in terms of the phone, main numbers, the extensions were shut down.
Yeah.
File not found error. If you go online, and it's just it's amazing. You know, in many cases too, there will be the main page, but everything is basically disabled.
So
I heard that the county executive had done that.
Yes.
Well, did he? It looks like a denial of service was the end consequence to this then. So it's ransomware, and then everything has been shut down. So if that's the case, I mean...
let's look at it. Let's look at the case. Hang on. Let's share with the audience what we've got cooking in our cyber news here. Black Cat Group claims responsibility for the ransomware attack on Suffolk County, begins publishing stolen data on dark web. Here's our article, sir. Pretty interesting. I could pull it up for you on the screen here if it makes it easier for you to see what that looks like, Patrick. A team of cybercriminals is claiming responsibility for that ransomware attack that took place. Black Cat. So... they say they've gotten the data. They haven't necessarily asked for money up front, but they're now going to trickle data out and do sort of minor ransomware attacks with different segments of the data. And here is this article in Riverhead Local News at the Black Cat Group. Now,
Let me interrupt you real fast.
Yes,
I'm going to
sir.
read this because I'm going to use this. I'm going to go live as well.
Please.
Suffolk County hacked the county court records, sheriff's office records, contracts, and personal data of citizens. Documents are apparently published on the dark web. I'm seeing some mention of that. What I saw published on the web, by the way, was things that could be foiled. Freedom of Information Law will access, so it almost looks like it's public accessible records, but I really don't know how far it goes. Yeah, it's a traffic citation, so I don't know how much they bury this stuff, but like, you know,
if they got rid of mine, I'd be happy with that.
Well, okay, this one.
Anyway,
County of Suffolk and contractors. Suffolk County government was attacked along with the government network. The networks are of several contractors were encrypted as well. So I'd heard that before too. That the sites were encrypted from our use. So they didn't just gain entry and then go into the servers, remove information, and put it on the dark web. They also encrypted it.
Oh, wow. Okay. But what I heard is that some of the departments intentionally turned off their computers to avoid further infection, right? Did you hear about this?
Yeah, but if that's true, then, well, was it encrypted? I mean, how do you turn it off when you don't have, like, that's a novel idea. Like, it's like locking the car after somebody stole it. You know?
I mean,
like,
they're exercising.
I still got my key, you know?
But they're exercising their backup routine, and it's working, man. I mean, a hospital in India got hacked 2 years ago, and they went to paper and still pretty much were able to operate, man. You know,
That's a speculation, and it's putting like a thought into my head that I'm not projecting. Like, I mean, do you know how far it goes? Like, I explained one thing that we know of, and you just made this huge leap that everything is running fantastically, that they've just switched to paper. Like,
well,
you got to stop right there real fast.
But hold on.
No.
Backup routine
what paper? What
have.
documents do they still have? So you're assuming you're going to like literally say...
I'm sorry.
And then you go further
right.
that each office still has the files from, you know what I'm saying? Why? Plus they have new personnel that might not know how to use the paper form or what an X201-3 is. You understand?
That's a big deal.
They've got the PDF. So they're looking through a card catalog trying to find the PDF and they can't find it. I'm sorry, everybody, but he just tried to, I know it's his show, but it's like, that's fantastic, but I'm not just going to sit here and like, no way. I'd be calling in if this is a radio and be like, what are you talking about?
No, I'm sorry.
And I don't want to hear him saying, can you talk into the mic? So I'm just going to scream this whole show.
No, so I completely agree. I am assuming that the staff remembers how to use the old paperwork. Yeah, that's a stupid assumption, but yeah, you're totally right.
No, because the last time I was on the show, was with Artie.
Yes.
We were talking about Windows XP. Mm-hmm. So what was this, Cisco?
Right. I guess a bunch of different stuff, but Cisco gear and Microsoft stuff, and
here they are.
Yeah, no, you're a good point.
And you said they just switched over like seamlessly. It's their servers have been encrypted against them. They have no access to their own servers. So the idea that they just seamlessly switched over to a network, they've got some kind of website running. You could look it up maybe now and find out what it is. But if they switched over to paperwork, so what? There's somebody sitting there in real time who doesn't have, I guess they do have access to it, but they don't have, their emails have been shut down. Mm-hmm. Imagine what happens to a county where the emails have been shut down, first off, right now. Mm-hmm. Yes. So what, they've switched back over to phones?
No, but
so is the phone system affected? Because some other phone systems have been affected, right?
Sure.
So who's calling whom?
Sure. I just want to
I know with one of these departments, they only had one of the offices had one line running.
I just want to go back to the point that my assumption was that when they go back to the paper process, those people knew how to use the paper, but you're saying, what are the chances to still remember how to use the paper? Was it been trained on the computer system?
Before we even get there. Okay, I'm theoretically being paroled tomorrow, but now I'm not. Because
congratulations.
Where's the file? No, there's nothing to type up.
I assume they have paper records for all their data. I assume.
And then they have the calendar on their phone set when each individual is going to have to, you know what I'm saying? Where are they accessing that data from? So they're going to have to first come up with like a paper calendar. Like the idea that, another assumption, you're going to assume that every day they were printing up the calendar for 2, 3, 4 weeks in the future.
I guess I assumed it, but now that you're saying it, no way.
For every single, just to use that example, every prison. And then court records. So not just court records, but what if you're supposed to appear tomorrow?
So are you saying...
What if it's a lawsuit that you have against somebody else? You know what I mean? You might have filed a paper motion, and the second the paper motion is in there, it's entered into a system. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Yeah. So the idea of them just going to the paper, it's like, that's... and then seamlessly, no less. So we don't need technology then, apparently. So we're back... 50, 60 years almost.
So possibly...
I can't do math, apparently.
In the hospital concept, they were still closer to their manual process and have to use more paper results, but you can expect all these government agencies to have paper records of everything, which is the whole point of them.
Well, something further. Let's say it's a hospital. Let's say like remote surgery.
Yeah.
Are you going to trust the system after it's been breached for the robot surgery? Like, how questionable is that going to be? We think it's stable.
They're trusting it. They do.
There's a lot of trust that goes on. Just a perfect example, whatever the secondary website that the county is now set up. But what they're doing with NYPD, I thought that they were going to be handling the call flow or something because they have 911 operators. Now apparently they've sent officers out that are physically, manually helping with handle this paper thing. And that's the only department I know of, and that's the only one that I've heard of being on the news even. Mm-hmm. So I called around about some other departments and heard what's going on. So something very similar is going on with the paramedics, the EMS services. So anything
it's widespread.
Yeah, they
It's
apparently
widespread.
because I did ask about this, and if you're listening, I'm keeping your name quiet. You like that?
So-
but they're
so-
using, according to him, but I'm gonna say this because if he is watching, he's not technologically smart. So, but according
What
to
does
him,
that
what they're
mean?
using in terms of their CBs is like ironclad. You know what I mean?
Okay,
It's
okay.
solid. They don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
So I don't know what it is. You might know where that contract went or who the competing vendors were over it.
There's
but-
many vendors involved.
Right, but in that world of it, Suffolk apparently went with the wrong vendor.
Yes, I believe I know the vendor we're discussing, but that's a soft, sensitive situation for many governments in this region who continue to hire the same old, and get the same old results.
Yeah, it's a problem where your county is almost stopped. Almost, I said. You know what I mean? Like, no, there's still maybe some kind of paper trail trickling through.
Patrick,
but I think
hang
it would
on.
just be contingency. Like they're doing damage control. Apparently, it's the second going into the third week.
Yeah.
So the first week or so,
Right, first week, second week. I mean,
yeah, it reminds me of a natural disaster. Or like the power going out, or like how long is it going to take to fix up the infrastructure again? It's like that's kind of what we're looking at. But in terms of that, we're 2 weeks beyond 2 weeks, I think it is, into this. And they have a secondary website as a referral, but it's not, I don't think, set up for business.
right, it's like a temporary hold.
In fact, we're here right now. Why don't you come on?
well,
let's
hang on. I
play
want
the
to
game.
make a point because
bring the technology
because
into the CyberMasters show.
Let me bring up a point.
Show us how you're a CyberMaster.
Here's the tech news.
No,
Hang
I'm
on.
going to keep interrupting. Digitally be a Jedi.
So take a look at this for a second. The Black Cat Group, Wikipedia. So it says that the Black Cat Group, who's being blamed or is taking responsibility for this situation, says it was a pro-UNP paramilitary organization in Sri Lanka. And they're the ones. So we have
All right,
articles.
I can't say this again. I'm so sorry, but and this is a conversation I had on the way here because I was unprepared for that group.
Yes.
No. In terms of this, if it was a title placed on a collective, if you will, like I had mentioned to you earlier, like is that what they're calling anonymous? You know what I mean? No one centralized organization, but something that people are calling themselves.
It's a code name for
You
a
have to
bunch
remember,
of
Black
dudes.
Cat is also, if you go into even Wikipedia, I think it was a hack first. I mentioned that to you today about Red Hat, and you said that was software, but I thought that was a hacking group way back in the day. But
Could have
again,
been, yes, actually.
I was told that this is not a form of cyber terrorism, if that makes sense. So it is known who this group is. There are certain briefings that come through certain agencies.
Okay.
So I can't even say. But beyond that, so
Okay,
you either take my word for it or just I'm talking out my ass.
Okay.
I love the fact that this is internet and I can say that.
Yes, you can say anything you want on there. The point is, though, on our Black Cat Group was initially formed following an electoral victory. It was then an anti-communist paramilitary of the United Nations Party. Wow, that's a nice wiki they got here. Now, they're responsible for taking down the power plant, Microsoft earlier last month. This is like an ongoing thing. Black Cat's really trying to make a name for themselves, or are you saying it's just another name like Anonymous and they're just kind of using it?
I don't know. Haven't had enough time to find that out. I mean,
Possibilities there.
the hacks have been big, right? But they've been random in their own right. You know, I mean, the hacks that we even talked about on your show. Excuse
Well,
me.
look, no one's died from this hack yet. So
No,
one's
but
dead.
there was the water facility, the wastewater treatment plant.
Yeah,
What else?
yeah.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Thank you. Set that up over there, please. Yeah, there was the wastewater treatment plant in, what was it, Miami?
Okay.
Okay, that could have massive consequences. There was the school district we saw. We saw a bunch of school districts having that issue.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Yes,
You had
yes.
mentioned this even on the show.
Yeah, many school districts in
And it just-
22 got hacked.
We're just paid. And then there was the Colonial Pipeline, you know? And it's...
Colonial Pipeline was hacked by this group, they say.
That's why I mentioned them. I know. Now, what were the other... There was a couple of the hacks by this group that were quasi-famous.
the Microsoft,
Actually, no, there was one
the
that was
Microsoft
international.
It was the power grid in the UK. That was the big one. And then Microsoft, they took down Microsoft in like the beginning of
Okay, now
June or something.
watch what happened. We've even mentioned this on the show. What happened with Russia and Ukraine in terms of the
They're not
cyber
even
war that
mentioned in
took
these.
place and what Anonymous did by weaponizing its members. Do you understand? So I don't really know what Black Hat is. I just do know that they're claiming that there's a group claiming to be Black Hat. This this is great because especially on the internet, this is going to be flagged all over the place because of these words. But I'm going to say them. I would normally not put these into text or anything, but basically, sorry, right? But yeah, the idea of terrorism is what's at the end of this, you know. So I don't. When it comes to a terrorist organization, there are a lot of different groups that might claim responsibility for something. Then there are other times where nobody hears anything and a lot of time will go by. So that's why I said it. This is ransomware. How long in terms of like just ransom itself? If you kidnap somebody, hypothetically, how long until you were like to put out to say we want the, you know, plus how much are they paying them or how much did they ask for? I think all the other ransoms that we had heard had a dollar amount to it, so we don't even know that. Just though some undisclosed amount has been requested for some undisclosed information that they've apparently already published some of it online, and we're shutting down the website and closing down the servers that were encrypted that we can't use, and that's part of the ransom as well.
Oh, wow.
But we set up another website. It's like, oh, okay. Sorry.
Wow, I wonder what it means on a bigger plane. I mean, obviously we're not getting the full story. There's an investigation going on, but ultimately, I mean, it's I guess convenient to blame an anonymous type group while you don't have answers.
Or anybody could be sitting there. We've talked about that as well. I keep segueing back to your previous shows. You like that?
Yes.
But we've been talking about this every time I think I've been on here, this exact thing.
So are you saying that if the government and the IT commissioner in Suffolk County watched my show, he may have gained some knowledge from it?
I think he's kicking himself right now if he was watching your show. Because the
well,
whole time he was watching your
it's
show.
It's not his fault.
Okay, all right. Well, if he was watching your show, then literally this is like, in terms of that, like the worst case scenario, very literally. I mean, is there worse than this?
I mean, I'm not smirking.
No, but literally, in terms of cybersecurity, is there worse than this?
No,
you've been locked out of your system, and all the data is taken. You're having you're being ransomed to not have the data shared publicly.
As an IT commissioner, you've hit the creme de la creme of problems. You know, you're like there. Like no one's heard about. They're not asking him to speak, which is good. You know, I mean.
Well, yeah, that would be up to the press. Maybe they are, but he was told don't say anything. You know what I mean? Well, look, again, it doesn't come down to him fully either. You know, they might. It's voted what the contract is ultimately. So it's the representatives that are responsible to look into what they're actually voting on and how it wound in the hands of this company.
That's a very good point because the IT commissioner is not always in the selection committee of these vendors.
Oh, even if they are, it's almost like certain people in certain positions or certain expertise, their opinion should be weighted. You know what I mean? But in many cases, it can just be another voice.
I would assume that certain governments would use people like that as human shields. Oh, we got hacked. They threw the commissioner at it. It's his fault. Next, you know, I mean,
or not only the commissioner, but everything down below that as well. So the current IT director for the county, what we're using, did they even have anything to do with deciding that, or is this a new position that came with a new administration, and now this person has to deal with what the previous head did? The contracts that were voted on. You know what I mean?
That commissioner has been in place for many years over there. But what I think people need to realize is that in this region out here, government's very splintered. You know, as much as everybody wants to work together and create one unified force, there's many fiefdoms, many separate networks, and it's hard to bring everybody together. And as a commissioner, you may push and push, but the powers that be may not allow you to converge those entities, if you will. You know what I mean?
It's not just that too, but sometimes like if it's a technology or a software, they can't go with the newest best thing, even if it is the best thing, because it's the newest thing. They have to wait to make sure it works, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but in a sense of bureaucracy too, and then that could take 10 years for that rollout to happen, and by the time it does, it's outdated.
Yeah.
But, somebody will say, hey, listen, maybe we should go here. This is where the whole world is going.
Well, it's very interesting, the products that exist today that enable hacking. I mean, what I don't really understand is, and I'm going to demonstrate a product that I'm going to be spending.
When you say products, you mean like apps, right?
Hardware or products. I'm going to demonstrate something in a few minutes that's going to blow everybody's mind, and I'm going to spend a few months figuring out why it exists and how simple it is to execute upon. I'm surprised that these IT departments aren't agile enough to see what's coming on a bigger basis. You're talking about a $40-50 million budget with armies of people, and look at the disaster that just took place.
Because it's trickle down in terms of response. So if one system says we're secure, everyone it's a false sense of security is what we found out.
When I was, and the reason, possibly an additional reason why I'm not in government anymore, is when remember when the Maersk hack happened? I went to the county executive and I said, listen, guys, I got to make an unreasonable request. We need to stop any access to Google for a minimum of a month. He says, people are going to be crazy. We went ahead and we blocked Google access for every, 40,000 users, and I was taking a hit. What are they doing in IT? We were safe and sound, man. Other people weren't willing to take those kind of political risks, if you will. But we protected the place. You know what I mean?
I'm so sorry. Here we go again. That's not why you're not in government anymore. You're not in government anymore because of what politics really is, okay? So politics is a new administration came in, and that's what happened. Then they wanted their people. It's not that somebody had a better resume and they couldn't wait to get into office so that they can put their person in because they had their own vision for the IT department. You had it running well. There's no reason to look anywhere else. Even if it's one bad mistake or one mistake, what you're saying isn't a mistake, though. So it was what? They didn't agree with some decision? No, it doesn't work that way. And at the end of the day, these are people that were rivals to that administration. So maybe they'll like you for that because you know what? He stands up for himself. So anybody in the industry knows who you are and knows that your background, and even at the time, it wasn't the political side. It was the tech side. It was the geek factor. You know what I mean? The Boy Scout side of, here's a niche, here's something that needs to be done. This is a good public service. Let me provide my knowledge to them. And that's basically what you did. I talked to you the whole time, I remember you trying to actually get things onto the table at the time and having to explain to them.
In the management in Suffolk County?
Yeah, well, the management, we're finding out there is no management, perhaps. It's all done online.
Wow.
So we have who knows what right now running behind the scenes. We'll find out maybe in a month or two time to see how much paperwork was actually done.
But they have staff. They have groups of people and consultants, the managers of all of that.
It's too much work. They've because of the revenue that they can draw from going digital, okay, just between the court system, parking tickets, red light camera tickets, okay, filing fees online, applications, okay, they've become so dependent on it, okay, but it's so large. The number of people, like the argument of how many people would it take to actually do
1.5 million residents, so it's a big area.
Yeah, now, beyond that, though, so the ability for a computer just in data storage, so how much time is it going to take every individual that they can task to just read through those files instead of doing a keyword search? I mean, this is massive here.
Yeah, but Homeland Security is involved and other groups to help, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
no, I did read that, but I really don't know what's going on. I mean, this is so fresh in terms of that. And if it is this far, then there's a lot of things that can't be discussed, not only by us, but other people. So
how are you affected by this if the government is down? How is it affecting you as an individual?
I don't know yet. It's 2 weeks in.
But certainly people who depend on DSS or need the police are affected.
It goes much further. It's
emergency services?
Everything. Every department the county would have. Do you understand? As long as they don't have online services, and they've been dependent on not only online services, but the departments using their server for their applications, their files, their information. So their personal information.
But people like you, regular folk, are yet to be seen what the fallout is. There's a longer-term potential fallout of data on the dark web.
I see it like this. Well, every time the federal government shuts down, and people only find out when they go to a national park and are turned away, okay?
Yeah.
So we're 2 weeks into this. We've seen 2 weeks without actual electricity, and somehow society functions. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of that, we're almost there. I mean, I'm looking at it on the wall, the words encrypted and data backup.
Yes.
I maybe it's me being naive now, but I really hope that they have everything backed up. That's frightening. Like, to actually say that and not be a conspiracy theorist, but it's like the incompetency at certain times when it comes down to it. I mean, this shouldn't have happened.
I imagine the version control on the recovery's got to be a pretty painful situation there.
I mean, even when the contract is presented or something, there's got to be somebody else somewhere that's saying, no, this is the one to go with. And it's not just, oh, this is better, but it's, well, why is it better? What's the problem with the other one? And what we found out with what just recently happened is the problem with the other one. So
Do
it's
you
not
really
just
expect the government to be honest with us with the details of the internals on this? Any government in the U.S. or
this
any
one,
country?
this government, yes.
You expect
This
them
country,
to be honest
yeah,
with
they
you.
should. It's your information, so even what happened to your information, like the right of privacy or the right of, I mean, seriously, your privacy was violated by a third party, if you will. We don't know who it is. It's some entity under the name Black Cat, apparently. But all of your data is in there too, because anytime you ever even wrote a letter to the court, maybe, I mean, it could be anything that could be in there. So we don't know. Whatever is uploaded would be theoretically in there.
Wow.
So servers, I don't know how much was hit. They're seemingly acting like everything was hit. And how long were they in there? I mean, if they were in there long enough, they have everything, and then they decided to lock the door and on their way out, and break the key off. You know what I mean? To be and then send a note saying,
really good
if you want all your information, because even if we remove the encryption, so if we have it backed up, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter if it's backed up. It's already copies are out there for sale. How do you get out of that? I mean,
we've been talking about
it's
this
for sale.
You did this on this show where we got a phone call. So the idea so everybody in the county's data, anybody that's had a contract with the county, anybody that's done business, all the licensing departments,
every vendor, every employee, every contractor, all
the paperwork, basically.
Everything. Yes,
right, that's the thing. So yeah, they've gone back to this, but we're now in a world where you still have to do the paper application, or even if you did an online application, they still want the paper file or print it out and sign it or something. You know what I mean? What are you going to do right now? We'll just go back to the paper. It's we are able to function because of the computers, not because of the paper.
You're making a good point.
The paper actually slows things down in terms of the digital aid. I mean, otherwise it's we need to print out the form. It's great.
Yeah. Let me do a quick introduction. I'd like to talk about something that I just got in the mail today, and it's incredible that products like this exist, and it's in line with what we're doing on our show today.
Horse on stick.
I didn't.
Is it unicorn flavored ice cream substitute?
Patrick, about what I'm showing him here, but this is a brand new item that just came on the market. It's been around for a couple of years. I was introduced to it, and the general public is not aware things like this exist on Amazon.com, for example. So let me just clear my little 3D printed art here, and put my product here in the middle, and we're going to do a little zoom in. You guys will be able to see it. I have yet to unbox it. We have a new close-up scene, Take a look at that, folks. What does that say? You see what that says right there? Flipper Pro.
Sorry, I just had a Mr. Rogers flashback.
Take a look at that. So now
you just zoomed in on the product. Can you see that,
kids?
kids?
There's a little product called a Flipper Zero. The Flipper Zero Pro, I remember when I ordered it. And it's got a little picture of a dolphin on the side. And we don't have amazing cameras just yet. But this little gadget, it's orange or yellow. And I'll be unboxing it in a couple of weeks there once I get to know it a little bit better. This little Flipper Zero will be able to let me open every car door for a Tesla. It will allow me to get access control to just about everything I want to get. Open doors, copy everything, give me full access control to pretty much everything that I need. You plug it into USB. It's called an educational toy, but it's probably one of the most advanced hardware hacking tools. We've seen people do incredible stuff with this. So I'm going to learn to see how to use it, which is why I'm talking about it on the show. And then I'm going to learn how to protect against it, right? That's the whole point, right? I'm not planning to use it. I plan to learn how the heck is the world allowing this to exist. And then, I mean, literally opening every vehicle door, starting cars, starting alarms, tapping into phones, anything with this little yellow box with a crazy interface. I mean, when I was younger, when we started in this industry, there was a young man who had this little black box, and you hold it up to the pay phone, and it would put the coins in from a little ring it had. Now, I think after 80,000 units he sold out of Stony Brook University, somewhere on Long Island, he finally got shut down. But people don't realize these hacking tools have existed, they exist, and will exist readily on the internet. What do you think about this, man?
That's the situation with cybersecurity. They're always preventing against hacks. So in terms of the tech that can hack like that, you know, I mean, that's what was it, the clone phones back in the day?
Yes, cloning phones.
You know, and right now we're dealing with, you have to, every time you go to an ATM machine, you have to make sure there's not a prosthetic, so to speak, that has some kind of digital technology that's going to scan your information before
People are not aware of what you're talking about, and that's a very common thing, a skimmer. Something that looks just like the ATM machine, but it's a little plastic overlay with a completely different credit card inlay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, people don't realize it's all over Long Island. It was found at a train station recently.
Yeah, no, I've seen campaigns every once in a while, awareness campaigns for it. I guess it depends on how much crime is actually taking place with it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I figured it's enough for me to hear about it, not just through word of mouth, to know it's a real thing, you know? So the technology costs some money, too, and as soon as it's detected, I mean, maybe it's really cheap. I don't know in terms of the dark web. If it's $5, it would hypothetically be worth it, but it's disposable because as soon as it's found, it's going to be destroyed. You're going to lose access to it. Yeah. You know, but in terms of that, like, I know I am cautious about entering my PIN, you know what I mean, around me, so there could theoretically, if I'm not too cautious, be somebody with binoculars, which would be like the no-tech version of this, you know what I'm saying?
There should be multi-factor on your code to get your ATM transaction. They don't have MFA on it? But it'd be so simple.
Listen, though, that complicates it, just adds another layer, if you will, of supposed protection, okay?
Yes.
There's also biometrics, okay?
Yes,
but like we just found out with Suffolk, if they hack into it, what does it matter? Do you understand? If they hack into the system, your personal protection on your card or your chip within you, if what you are interfacing with is already breached.
What will the Suffolk County hack teach all of us citizens in this region?
Wait a second. I saw what you just did. You asked me that question and then went back to the camera angle. Like,
yeah, that's what I do.
Pose that question again. Yeah, but that was way too...
That was a good question, bro.
No, give me that. Give me that toy for a second.
No, it's my toy.
So I can be like, so Ed, the meaning of life.
Well, that is.
What's your thoughts?
My thoughts.
And then the camera just goes to a close up of Ed. You know what I mean? And just like creepily comes in further. You know, spend some music playing in the back.
Yeah. No,
go ahead, Ed. No rush, but. The meaning of life, Ed. And go.
No idea.
So let's go on with the topic then.
Is to have fun. The meaning of life is to have a great time.
Unless you get hacked.
Or
your data gets breached.
I want to open.
So real fast before we go further.
Yes. Let me open this up for a second. Hold your thoughts.
This thing frightens me because it what is it? Kirby and what was the Japanese toy?
Frightened by the unboxing of the flipper. Look at the beautiful box here. Look at the unboxing scenario that's taking place. There's a sticker. No, it's mine. Thank you. The Flipper Zero, the quick guide, which I'll go through later. It comes with a convenient USB cable. Let's look. Here is our Flipper Zero device. Look at that. It's got a control panel. It's got these pinouts on the side. Got some very strange looking charging over here. SD card insert. Wow.
Can I say this simply for people that are not? So essentially, this tracks and records things in your life and probably transmits it remotely, or probably if it's really new, it uploads it to a cloud. I did see what looked like a micro SD slot, so that's great.
Yeah, man, isn't that?
Does it have can it actually like read your biometrics too, just in case somebody wanted to steal what your thumbprint biometrics were digitally?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Not that can be done, right? I mean, God,
it's just so freaking interesting to see what I can do with this.
Now, how many people have like the thumbprint reader, right? And then every once in a while, Apple will be like, "Oh, Apple was hacked." It's like,
yes, exactly.
But no, it can't. I'm fine though because nope, my phone and biometrics like.
Well, Patrick, you're making a good point because apparently on this device you can like record somebody's login, whether it's what kind of print, and then use the device to log in with it. So you can hold the information and then use it and hold like logs for thousands of things. Why is this out there, man? Why is this out there?
Because the dumbed down version of it is I am not a robot. You know what I mean? That's where we're at. It's like nobody's seriously minding this store. It's just shell organizations that make a lot of money and have phenomenal like pitches for their executives. You know what I mean?
Well,
where everybody drives a Tesla and they're making like $15 million a year to start. You know what I mean? Hacker away.
Let me ask
can we like get sarcastic for a minute? Like get into the conspiracy side of things?
Of course. Yes,
that's who I think is behind this. I mean, hacker away. You know what I mean? What's he been doing?
You think there was a hacker I bought this from?
No. Oh, wow, man. No. I don't know where you extrapolated that from. No.
Amazon.com,
Black
bro.
Cat, not this thing, but Black Cat, Hackerway, the international hacks.
No,
what if
Black
it's coming
Hat,
from right here?
H-A-T, these are Black Cat.
No, what
C-A-T.
if it's he whose name we cannot say because then we'll be booted off of his platform? What if it's him?
Ah, okay. I think I know.
What if they did it there,
it's him.
bounced it off of somewhere else, and they're like, oh, who's those guys? And he's doing it just to be a prick.
I like it.
That's probable. I mean, the ransomware is just a ploy. So nobody thinks it's him because...
Well, I find it interesting that since I ordered this product, it just shipped now to my region.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the scary thing because fortunately it's him and not the other guy because if that's the case, then it will be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll have a package shipped from mainland China like on your doorstep like before it's physically possible on this planet for it to get from point A to point B to the point where it's like, how? And then you're going to realize, oh, apparently they'll say it's at a distribution center closer to you.
So hold on
Everything it's like Santa Claus. I'm just saying, like... Okay, so everything I want is at a distribution center within like 6 hours away to 12 hours away? Okay.
Wait a minute. No, hold on a second. So Suffolk County goes through the biggest hack in America, and they're shipping me these products from China right to my doorstep at the time when this is taking place? Is there something... A coincidence, right? Of course. Must be.
I'm curious. In terms of... go with the theory to this. Like, okay? the end game of that, you can exploit this and capitalize off of this in a criminal way until it's dead. It's like a parasite that kills the host. I mean, we've had different systems, like all of this just I'm sorry, but it doesn't evolve, if you will. Beyond
Doesn't evolve beyond this? Why?
well, because all of our data is gone in terms of privacy. It's probably already. I mean, now it's just another group that has it.
Come on, it's too late for everything. Not my data.
Yeah, right. Well, how do you have it? Where would you get it from? Do you know what I mean? You printed it out. Where'd you get that? You got an email from where? You know what I mean? Everything for 2 decades now has been streamlined towards this.
So guys can just grab stuff and start opening in full access and no problemo over time.
Oh, it looks like it. We don't know who this is.
So what is cybersecurity when I bought this for $150 on Amazon the other night? Or several months ago, and they finally shipped it during the biggest hack of our region.
What cybersecurity? Well, Amazon would theoretically have it to protect your transaction, your banking data,
Right,
which is now. But if you ever got a ticket in Suffolk County, though, well, did you pay with your credit card? Because Black Cat has it now, apparently.
Well, you're making a good point. I mean, I'm doing this with my own stuff, experimenting. I'm not out there doing other people's
No, I'm
stuff.
going to beat this to death. I didn't know you had another topic and you were going to do product placement here.
No, it just came
What
in.
if it works well? I mean, like, you're not even... Let's go into the product real fast, okay?
Okay.
Like, you're not checking for... I'm sorry, I went too far from the mic.
I'll give you the things. I'll give you the stuff. Hang on.
Well,
Here's the manual. And here's the device.
okay, hang on a
Here's what
second.
it says on
No,
the side of the box.
okay,
Hang on a
first off, this thing is heavy.
Yeah.
This is really, really... This is like 2, maybe 3 cell phones heavy.
Okay.
It looks like a generic, like, calculator.
Like a calculator.
Screen, like,
but
for
look
real.
at the dip switches on the side. What the heck is that for?
All right, Okay, this is for a lanyard. That's simple. All right, I got afraid just looking into look at
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. It has some... But look, there's dip switches right on the side there. And look at this crazy controls.
Okay, so this looks like, unless
It's an infrared control on the
it's
side.
it's a controller or a scanner, like a QR,
Yes.
like a red light.
Yeah, like a QR. Right, yes. Barcode reader.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. And over here I see the micro. Why does it need...
So on the side of the box here, it says sub-gigahertz analyze signals and use as radio remote. RFID, NFC, infrared, GPIO, and I button. Interesting.
Why does it have these? For what purpose does that serve, though?
I would say for custom configurations on different brands that require different...
So to actually
way
link
to
this to
configure
another
the product.
device, you're saying?
Yeah, they're saying that could take over any remote, car remote access control system. on
Okay, so
planet
the
of
same way I would
anywhere.
like read the computer of a car and plug in, they're saying that's how this thing is accessing the information, plug and play?
Yes, correct. And it can read it, you can program it, store it, and then use it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a willing version of like the beaming from phone to phone
Absolutely.
and accessing the information.
Do you remember during the riots?
But that's literally you plugging in and going, oh, I'm going to plug this into all my...
Patrick, do you remember the old man who got in trouble for being pushed? Well, he got pushed down by the cops during the riots. But this old man was walking up to the cops and touching the cops with a device. Did you know he was able to read and get their data by touching them with this? And the cops knew about it. That's why they pushed him down, man.
Well, what was the device he was using and what data was he accessing? Their cell phones?
Like cell phone police data with touching them with this frequency reader that he had. I don't know exactly the details, but it's something along these lines.
We've got microchips in our cards that won't I mean, our cards don't even work without a chip now.
Yeah,
So
somebody
for
said I
that-
can put credit cards in there, load some old credit cards right in there, and just beam it right out of that device.
Old credit cards?
I don't know yet, to be
Oh,
experimented.
I saw all credit cards. What did you?
Yeah.
What was the word you said?
Yeah, like old brand credit cards.
Okay, probably not
Every
old
brand.
ones. Though. It probably has to do with a chip because otherwise it's not picking up anything. Unless, again, like we said about a barcode reader, unless you have to go down the back of your credit card
Do something.
across that, which is
To be experimented with, sir. I think I can make time for this starting October, November. I have to like time my hobbies and my experiments. I have 3D printing to continue, which I have to put off till Q1 or Q2 until I get through some of this experimenting. You know, but I love this, and that's what a techno guy does. I think that as a security specialist, I have to understand these things, experiment with them personally. I'm open to talk about it because obviously my intentions are pure, which is not the intentions of most. And that's okay because the world is made of black hat hackers, white hat hackers, and people who use this stuff to try to do good. And I encourage people to get devices like this and overcome them and learn security for your own, you know? A
what's
lot
your
of people
plan with
don't
this now to
experiment,
see
bro.
how it could be used against the
I
owner?
plan to start my own car and disarm in the alarm for my own car. I plan to take over my own vehicle with this device
Okay.
and my wife's vehicle. And then a whole bunch of gadgets I have sitting around.
No, because I know you personally, and I'm going to assume your wife doesn't watch the show, so we can keep this between
She's
us.
probably
and
watching right now. Yes, I think
Okay.
she's watching.
Well, Ed, confess this. Do you plan on doing this when your wife doesn't know and just starting and stopping her car as a joke because you think it'll be funny?
Not on my car because she has to take care of my kids, but I'll do it to myself, and I don't know. No. I mean, if it works, that's
No, we
amazing.
all believe
Let's
that.
see
Anybody
what
that
happens,
it's totally believable.
you know,
That you
I
will sit there
understand-
for shits and giggles and be like,
Yeah.
and we will all find out about it when it happens too. Like,
Well, Patrick,
then
you
no,
know,
it'll be a phone call or we'll do a show that night. Dude, I hacked into my own car.
we've been friends a long time. I don't know.
And people that think he's
I know
crazy
we
that
live.
don't know, they're gonna be like, he's like, I used Flipper Zero to crack into my car. You used Flipper to what? Yeah, I hacked into Flipper and I started my car.
Yes, exactly.
And that's why you're not in government anymore.
But analog.
No, that's not fiscal.
Analog,
Fiscally responsible. I mean
It is
that's
fiscally responsible.
$150.
People
for
need to
a-
experiment. A real
a
technology
piece of crap.
experiment. You know, and I've got the sticker, and I plan to put the sticker on the back of my laptop
could
here.
Okay, that was USB. It charged USB.
Yes,
I was like,
that's
okay.
correct. That's correct.
I'm knocking it. People have to see it. But what was that Japanese toy that tracked like I don't even remember what it was, and I feel like I'm ignorant. It's been a long day, and I had no idea I was doing the show. So allow me some
You're
slack
like one
for
of
the
the most
stupidity.
fabulous guests on the show. What the heck?
What
are you
was that
talking
stupid little toy? All right, there's got to be maybe somebody on that knows this. There was a
Okay.
Japanese toy that like you had the digital pet.
Tamagotchi.
That's one, but then there was another one, right?
Tamagotchi? I don't even know.
There was a whole series of these. Okay.
I hear you.
Pan back to you so people can see your face looking
Yes.
at me like you have no idea what I'm talking about. Yes, it was a kid's craze, and I don't remember how long ago, but long
This
enough
is the
ago.
face I do and I don't know.
Was the Tamagotchi one the one from the 90s, though?
Yeah, I believe so. It was like a digital pet. You would like feed it, clean its turd when it would turd. It would kind of grow sometimes into a different like size.
Wow, that's pretty scary. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, but it was like a little, basically something like this with a keychain attached to it.
I just want to say we have a whole army of secret research experts in the audience with us. You know, we don't have the camera angles at them, but hello everybody. Thank you for being part of the show and making
Yeah, I'm
it
glad I
alive.
have this live thing going on. It's like, show
Yes.
them how weird
Yeah,
that is.
yeah. It's pretty wacky, but thank you everybody for coming to
And it's like,
CyberMasters. It's pretty
so
amazing.
I do have a camera over here, and like what he doesn't realize is, Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't leaning into the mic. Why don't you take this thing out? Like, I'll just do this.
Yeah,
and then he's gonna get neurotic because I'm just gonna like act like a rock star with
people
it.
see your face. That's all. But
I know, but every time you do that, like what you just did, I'm not on camera.
Yeah, you are.
And every time I try and talk, and then you're like, no, wait, and then you do a product placement, and you zoom in on Flipper. It's fucking Flipper, dude. There's no kids watching this show, and if they are, they're being punished right now. You have to watch Ed's CyberMasters podcast. You have to learn about the Suffolk County Black Cat
I was
breach.
told.
No, this is absurd, man.
It's just a freaking show about garbage.
No, because it's got a fucking dolphin on it. It's called Flipper, and it's like
It's to make it look like a toy.
Zoom in, show them. Like
Yeah, it's
that's the
meant to
thing.
look like a
I mean, no,
toy,
it literally
man.
looks like that. You know,
Yeah.
like Flipper, but
Yeah, Flipper, man. Flipper was awesome.
dot
bro.
matrix Flipper Okay, electronic pet tool, pet toy. Multi-tool educational device. So it's a device you can use to start your Tesla. That's a toy. Is this being marketed to children or adults, though?
It's marketed to people who need electronic testing equipment.
No, I hear you, but like...
Hold on. Just real quick. It's called a electronic pet toy multi-tool educational device.
Okay, but
It's
what I'm
for
asking you is,
education.
is this marketed as a toy, and you found out that it has the capability of starting a Tesla?
I was told about it from industry specialists.
Like, oh, here's a Nerf gun, and you can,
No,
and it shoots through concrete. It's
I
not,
talked to
you know.
industry specialists who tell me about the gear.
So this is a toy that now I'm looking at this completely differently.
No, this is an industry specialty tool that's marketed a particular way, so it could probably ship from Amazon.
Makes sense. No, you're
Because
looking at
I
me.
have a special button,
Makes sense.
I can
What?
do a reaction shot and flip.
No, I completely understand that. You know that. You know.
Yeah.
Like Flipper, the pocket laser. You know.
Yeah, right.
oh.
Exactly. Flipper, the pocket 9mm.
No, I'm going to do a plug for my joke, Dr. Hullabaloo, you know? The jokes we've been doing there, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like the one I did the other day was like talking about like I just decided to make up fake products with it to keep my sanity from everything. I had to do two, I can't say what kind, but I had to do 2 petitions yesterday. I had to amend 2 petitions.
Okay.
And no, I'm not a lawyer.
Okay.
But I know how. So I had to do it, and I was really pissed off about it. So
Okay,
I decided, all right, I'm going to take my own me time, and I'm going to make memes in my me time.
Okay.
Maybe that's what it is. Me, you know, that's where they got it from.
Make memes in your meme time. Oh, that's it's my meme time.
Yeah. It's selfish, so it's me squared, you know what I mean? Me.
Me.
Like mine, you know? That's what it should be, mines.
Oh, that's really funny. Well, let's see. You know,
Memes. They're memes, man. They're all about me.
So
you
let
know,
me
but-
ask you, if
No, like going about my product placement,
Sorry,
though. That's
sorry.
kind of what this is like. You know what I mean? Coming up with like a ridiculous product. One I did was a hobby horse, and it was a unicorn hobby horse.
A
and I was-
hobby horse?
Yeah, and I marketed it as horse on stick.
fabulous,
Right to the point. You know what I mean?
horse on
and,
stick.
and you know, kids like it's great, and sure enough, here's Flipper, and what is Flipper saying? Feels good, man. It's an exclamation point, but feels starts with a lowercase f, because you know, so it's awesome, you know. No, let's really like get into what he bought. Designed by Flipper Devices Inc. Assembled in China. Flipper01 is the website, in case you need to go there.
But isn't that what the world's about? You're advertising one thing, but you're
Manufacture.
doing something completely different.
Flipper Devices Inc. Philadelphia Pike Suite 8. Okay, this is awesome. No, I saw one that came to me last week, and it was either made in China, and they forgot the space between made in, or it's someplace called made in China.
Yeah, you were telling
So
me.
I'm not really sure. So I really like looking at this stuff now.
I enjoy these products coming out with these.
Oh,
with
here we
these,
go.
You know, like I remember, guys. Remember when you went to the pot store, the Utopia, and had these big signs: "Do not mention bong. They're water pipes." And you just want to say bong, bong, bong. And if you do, you get thrown out of here. So they were selling marijuana bongs, but they called them water pipes so they could sell them on the street. So isn't that in line with what we're seeing here, bro?
I don't know, dude. I'm reading this thing. This thing is frightening.
But
You
it
were doing it
exists all
like
over,
you
man.
did it with such an upbeat. You were like, "Oh, it does this." Okay. Sub gigahertz. Well, I don't know why it's saying sub-gigahertz. You could explain that.
I'll
but
know
here,
in a few months.
just
I'll know by Christmas.
analyze signals and use as a radio remote. Yeah, analyze signals and use as a radio remote.
Yee!
Analyze signals, though. Right, okay.
Listen.
Read and store on the card and tags. Okay.
Look.
So you can analyze signals, store it onto the card. It's infrared, no less.
Yeah.
Extend with hardware modules.
It's important to know that I'm telling people about it because it exists.
Can I steal your credit card information by getting close enough to you with this device?
I'm going to find out. I think that's one of these devices. Yes, I think that's.
You might have to actually hook it up to something and use those and reprogram it, or just give it a tweak or two.
Where's my cell phone? So I just want to.
Well, I don't know what the distance is, but they'll probably market it for terms of wireless. Ooh, it works up to 50 yards away from the object.
Patrick, hang on a second. That's why all my credit cards and my driver's license are all inside a pouch that I received from Chase, and I put all my credit cards and my driver's license in this little pouch. Why? Because it can be read from devices like that, buddy boy.
It's a second product placement you've done tonight. What's going on here?
No, but it's true. I mean, look, you need to.
No. I completely agree. I completely agree. No, because if it's my thing, he's always pushing it out of the way. Is in here
No, we could do product placement if you want.
No, because if we're going to do product placement, let's get paid for it or product for it, okay?
Well, this is how we do
seriously,
it.
Flipper.
This is why Flipper wants to give us another
I feel so
Flipper.
stupid saying it, but that's actually their company. But Flipper Devices, Inc., but Flipper Corp, man. Send me one, because if he's going to try it out, I mean,
The address for CyberMasters.
No, man, this thing takes blood samples through osmosis. I'm telling you, just holding it near you, it's gonna read your DNA.
You can contact us through the website. Our address is there. We accept samples of product that we'll talk about on the show, along with sponsors.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely play with products.
We'll play with the stuff.
I'll take Flipper with me everywhere.
I plan to.
I'll sleep with Flipper so they can actually find out what my sleeping patterns are like. What I say in my sleep. Wait a minute. Can I open this again? Because I didn't see. There's one thing I didn't notice. Microphone.
There's one in there. I saw one on the side.
On the side?
Yeah, there's a mic. There's a mic thing on the side. Yes. I thought it was the holes for a mic thing. I told. What's that weird?
All right, give me a second because he said there was one. Okay, I just want to seriously make sure.
Isn't that little button on the front, the mic in, next to the red orange button? Take a look.
No, this is actually. I'm afraid to touch this. You gotta. What is this part right here?
I don't know. That's a finger controller. You put
your
finger on. It's like a finger reader.
Exactly. Can you show them that?
Yeah. Let me show this to the audience.
I am not seeing anything that.
I'll show you where it is. It's right on the front. You just passed it.
No, because you're gonna point to something and then say, "See, that's it right there." I'm an idiot. I see 4 screw.
Let me see it for a second. I feel like a little kid now.
I see the lanyard spot.
Come on, man. Let me see it, man.
I will. Unless you're trying to tell me that, which I'm gonna. I would assume
that's it.
No, I'd assume that's an LED indicator, like a red light.
No, that I would say is the microphone port. But what he's talking about is the back of this has some kind of fingerprint reading thingamabob here, which he won't touch. I assume you scan your fingerprint and store it so you could use it. Is that the idea? I think so.
I don't know. That looks like the kind of thing where you'd have a friend hold it, and as soon as they touch those, they get shocked. I mean, you know what I mean? But it's designed just for your thumb.
Yeah. I think that's where you store your fingerprints in the device somehow. So I don't know. Let's see what it brings. Let's see what it brings. Really excited to this. And, who knows? Imagine what you could do. I mean, if I could potentially start everything in my house with it, could I turn on my TV?
Oh, this is
camera,
creepy.
Everything off one.
Okay, this reminds me of the Halloween movie where the masks...
Oh, show that, the inside.
Mess with people. No, it's not just that. Okay, so I'm looking at the instructions.
Yeah.
And it's quick start. They have the micro SD card powering on, updating firmware, rebooting, and links, and a QR code.
Yes.
So in other words, to find out how this works and what these things are isn't in any of the literature. You have to link to start.
Yes, correct.
Just to start.
Yes, yes.
I know it's for packaging and so they can save money on printing, but you
You're
could
getting
have
me way
at
too
least
excited. I'm gonna start the
explained
experiment
like
earlier.
So you've got the power button, hold for 3 seconds, updating the firmware. I got it. Okay. What's this? What's this? What the hell is this thing? Like, seriously. And what does this stand for, by the way? Do you have any idea?
No idea yet.
4T something. Oh, wait. Is that other part written upside
it's
down?
Some kind of fingerprint reader, man. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, wait a minute. I was reading it upside down. It's not. Okay, I need glasses on at all times now.
Listen, how cool is that? But yeah, no, product placement is something we'll definitely do. We're going to wrap things up. I just want to end the show by saying a large government in our New York region is in a current hack state. They've reverted to paperwork to run things. My initial assessment before Patrick yelled at me was that I thought they'd be okay to go back to their paperwork, when in fact, who the heck remembers the old paperwork?
He probably killed my mic too. Before
know?
Patrick yelled at me, and then he goes to like the solo shot, like just him. Like, no way, man.
It's not even, both mics are on. But and then you see things like the biggest hack in America came through our region, and China's shipping the flipper. So it's like, where's left and right, man?
We can make money off of this. It's not so much like product placement, but if you don't want me to talk shit about your product,
yeah.
when Ed buys it,
yes,
know?
Yes, exactly. But
send me one too.
If I'm not on the show next week, who knows what happened? I do plan to not open this till October. But who knows if I'm allowed to even talk about this. I mean, I just bought it online, just kind of got it, came to my house. And, I've had products like this my whole life I experimented with. All for good, sir. All for good. You know what I mean? I never did it.
Yup.
I never.
It's not radio, my friend.
I never did it for bad reasons, man. Come on, bro. All right, thank you for coming to CyberMasters. I'm going to find my ending screen, which is one of the screens I did not program into my little board here. But here it goes. Good night. Thank you. Patrick, any last words?
Yeah, which camera do I wave to like you just did?
The main one over there. That's
the main one over there.
That one. Yes. Bye.